What's up, everyone? My name is Xavier.
And I'm Brandon.
And we'd like to welcome you to Hypercast Indie Review. Today we will be taking a look at the niche indie video game, Iconoclasts.
This is the beginning of an experimental series on our channel.
Please keep in mind, we will not be rating the overall value of the game.
What you can expect is the brief dev history and summary of the story.
We will also be taking a look at the game's gameplay mechanics.
A look at the main characters, the protagonist and antagonist.
And finally, we will be wrapping up with our thoughts on the game, followed by the best part. Do we recommend it? So, without further ado, please enjoy this new series, Hypercast Indie Review. So, to start off with brief history, Iconoclasts was a game made by Joakim Sandberg, a sole developer who wanted to make art in a gaming medium. Iconoclast spent 8 years in development and was published by Bifrost Entertainment to PC, PS4, and now available on Nintendo Switch.
Now on to the brief summary of the story. It revolves around the main protagonist, Robin, who is a self-taught mechanic. She's the wrench-swinging heroine who aims to help the citizens of Settlement 17. As a result of her good intentions, she is labeled a sinner by the big antagonist organization, the One Concern. Robin and her pirate friend Mina team up against this overwhelming enemy to protect all that they know and love. Iconoclast is as it sounds. If you look up the meaning, it is literally someone who attacks cherished beliefs. Robin, being the attacker, unintentionally challenges the corrupt beliefs. Some examples of these beliefs are ivory can be handled by blessed hands, roles/jobs are chosen, mother is the messenger of God, and sinners receive penance.
So to the type of game mechanics, pun intended, Robin being a mechanic and all, Iconoclast is a puzzle platformer Metroidvania. Many of these puzzles require Robin to use her handy wrench, and when I say handy, I mean handy. You will find yourself using this massive wrench to crank nuts across the continent. Puzzles and bosses will require her to swing, to deflect projectiles, and charge herself with electricity, all with the use of her wrench. There will be times where you'll see puzzles that require some crafty gunplay in order to activate chests, doors, or even switch places with other objects. And what's more, many of these mechanics are integrated and themed in many of the game's boss fights, and this game is not afraid of having plentiful and exciting boss fights. Each fight and puzzle feels refreshing and brings something new and different to the table. Robin obtains 3 different guns throughout the game. At the very start of the game, you find yourself with Robin's stun gun. That stun gun is a little more deadly than it is stunning. See what I did there? Although it may be the weakest gun in her arsenal, it quickly makes up for it with having rapid-fire shots accompanied with assisted aiming. This is also a great way to start the game for those who may need time to get used to shooting the enemies. The roller bomb packs an explosive punch with rolling bombs that can blast enemies, obstacles, and even propel certain platforms. The usurper gun is one of, if not the most powerful weapon in the game. The gun lacks the assisted aiming found in the stun gun, but quickly makes up for this by shooting through walls and doors, as well as being, well, powerful. Each of these guns can be charged to not only increase their damage output, but also their utility in puzzles as well. The stun gun can release a massive blast with a lot of destructive power and destroy certain obstacles. The roller bomb can become missiles that take off at high speed and blast things at a distance, given that Robin shoots the projectile with enough leeway for it to take off. The usurper gun can have Robin switch places with other enemies and objects. Many of these upgrades can be received throughout the entirety of the game, making for some optional backtracking for chests that previously seemed unreachable. Many of these chests contain materials that make upgrades called tweaks. These tweaks can give Robin some cool characteristics, such as adding more hits that Robin can take before receiving actual damage, double jumping, holding an electrical charge longer, and my favorite, the insanity tweak, made for your suffering. There's so many more, and they all make for fun ways to play the game. So, these tweaks can be earned by completing a few small side quests and reaching and/or defeating the game's post-boss.
Now on to the protagonist and antagonist. You spend most of the game playing as Robin, who who is constantly getting into trouble with Agent Black of the One Concern, who carries a personal grudge against Robin and her brother, Elro. Mina accompanies her soon-to-be best friend Robin after the One Concern takes her sister captive. She can be a hothead and insensitive, but also a realist. Through family, we find out Mina typically ventures off on her own. This causes tension between her and her family, who is not very happy with Mina, who spends little time with her family, and more to put to exploring the world, despite being a target of the One Concern. This eventually leads her into meeting our main protagonist, Robin. Elro is Robin's older brother who was enlisted as a chemist for the One Concern, but later fled after getting into some big trouble. Of the two, he is the one who handled the death of their father the worst. He comes off as self-centered and acts without concern for his sister's feelings, though always wanting what's best for her. He deeply cares for his little sister Robin, but he's constantly providing pessimism to her optimistic approach to the world's problems. Royal is the son of Mother. Much like her, he received special properties from Ivory, giving him white hair and the ability to manipulate Ivory and the environment. He also carries the base characteristics of an Ivory person, like having a long lifespan and regeneration. Royal is arrogant because he was raised as a sheltered child. He believes he is above everyone, and as Black said, he lacks empathy. Royal aims to aid Robin, but consistently fails and ruins everything for everyone each time, pushing his character. We believe Royal demonstrates a person who is stuck in their ways and is close-minded to alternative perspectives that could only be moved by tragedy. Agent Black is one of the blessed agents who'd gone through the ascension process and has regenerative abilities, basically immortality. She suffers from constant headaches and long-term memory loss as a result of her long lifespan. Much like Chrome, she has prosthetics supporting missing body parts as a result of the ascension process. In her case, she has mechanical arms that give her super strength. Black is short-tempered, aggressive, committed her role, and has trouble trusting others, basically keeping them out. Her goal is to serve her mother and the One Concern, but shows little regard or care for their beliefs. She spends most of the game attempting to kill Robin and Elro, with every chance she gets due to a personal grudge against Elro. Mother is a symbol of hope to the people. She is held to the highest status, being the messenger of Him, as well known as God, and the medium between Him and the people. All orders must have her blessing, and she governs the scripture with the help of the One Concern, who serves as soldiers who enforce the scripture and Mother's orders. Mother gets less screen time than almost any other key character, and yet her influences are referenced throughout the entirety of the game. Due to the fact so little is known about Mother's personal life, we only know that she cares about herself and that she can use people. Mother is the one who raised Royal like a son after his ascension. Much like the other agents, Chrome was ascended, which granted him regeneration abilities.
You know what? I want to do the Chrome part. Much like the other agents, Chrome was ascended, which granted him regeneration abilities and the need for prosthetics in his legs, which he had lost during his ascension process. He is often seen reading the scripture and even reciting parts during the preachings. He is committed to his beliefs, but he deals with the superiority complex as he sees himself as a leader of the people with a greater purpose. He always refers to the soldiers as children, yet he refers to Agent Black as fated sister. As wild as his moral compass may seem, he has some of the most righteous moments. However, he is held back by his own arrogance. So, who would we recommend this game to? I would recommend this game to someone who wants to play a niche indie game with a deep story to tell, memorable characters, action-packed bosses, all in a Metroidvania-style puzzle platformer at a low price point. So, what's our final consensus?
At the time of this recording, Iconoclast isn't a well-known game, but it brought new ideas to the table on a storytelling and gameplay level.
Initially, the game seemed average, yet enjoyable, but as you play it, there was certainly more to be found than initially met the eye. So, we feel that this game will be enjoyed with much more exposure. There's so much in this story to tell and so many themes to be heard and understood. And the gameplay falls no short, with complex battles and bosses, puzzles that'll really get you cranking your nuts in your head. I'm really trying for these jokes.
And there's so many characters that you might relate with. And the characters.
And one of the big things too, Joakim said a lot of the characters' problems and attitudes came from moments and events in his real life. So my thoughts on Iconoclasts: I enjoyed the game's story, told by many events and interactions leading up to the inevitable clashes and sacrifices amongst the characters. The game's gunplay makes it fun to speedrun, and the harder modes makes for more difficult terrain and an increase in damage taken. With those challenges and post-game things said and the story, I look forward to seeing a potential sequel from Joakim's creation. So how about you, Brandon?
My thoughts and experiences. I enjoyed all the characters and interactions they had. Some of the memorable moments was when Chrome kicked off one of the easy people off that cliff. The one part where Elro, Mina, and Robin are inside the tower, and it's like they're just together in like
prison.
Yeah. Talking and finding more about themselves. One of the parts I remember is like easily beating a boss with the roller bombs.
Yeah, you can cheese bosses if you're really good with guns.
Yeah. But the thing I mostly enjoyed overall is voicing all the characters.
That's probably what made this game so much more fun to play again, but this time with a friend. Voicing all these personalities that you can feel through the text. I think that is an amazing feat for a game not to have voice acting, but we could feel through the characters' animations and their dialogue what they sound like and how they feel, and acting out their voices. That's probably the most fun part of this game for us.
Like examples would be like Chrome being like a southern pasture.
Yeah.
Or like Chrome being a stuck-up rich British boy.
You mean royal?
That's what I said.
You said Chrome.
You know what I mean.
It's all good. And my most favorite part was voicing all of Mother's lines. Oh my goodness. Playing the game a second time, I feel like I understand what type of person she was. Like, you remember like the tone and attitude I gave her when she was going off. It was great. So before we get too far in spoiler territory, I just want to say that we recommend this game, and I want to give it our Hypercast rating of
Hidden Gem.
You heard it from him first. Iconoclast has gone in our Hypercast category of Hidden Gem, which means that it's not a well-known game, but it does bring new things to the table on a storytelling and gameplay basis. And its themes are things that you may or may not have seen in other stories, but we felt it was told in a very special way in this game. So we both highly recommend you check this game out, Iconoclasts. So without further ado, we would like to wrap this video up by saying thank you for listening to the pilot episode of Hypercast Indie Review. We'll see you guys next time on this new series for the Hypercast. Till then, take care.
See you next time.